I was able to maximize, and I didn't do that in 24. I was able to take a trade, risk 1,000 and make 25K, 30K, 40K. That's who I used to be. That's what I'm trying to work towards. What is going on, everybody? Dom here from the Clover Trading YouTube channel. 2024 is officially in the books. I've done my yearly review, my recap video for all the 4-leaf clovers out there to take a look at what worked, what didn't, and which areas I can improve upon in 2025. And that's what this video is all about. All right, so the review is in the books. All the data is done, courtesy of Kyle's spreadsheet tracking guide, which you can get at clovertrain.io. And you can watch the video if you are a 4-leaf clover, where all of our video lessons go, all of our archived webinars, all that good stuff, along with our trade alerts, our watch list, and the room, of course. It's about a 50-minute video where I talk about the entire year. And with Kyle's spreadsheet tracking guide, you have, he sets it up in a really easy way that it's really easy to do and be able to find out my win percentage, where my average winner, my average loser. I can separate it into patterns, all that good stuff. And it's really good to go through and do that for yourself, whether you're using Kyle's guide, whether you're just doing manually on Excel or Google Sheets, you're doing it by hand. God bless you. But it's just important to have a snapshot of your year, a snapshot of each month, and be able to know throughout different cycles and periods of the market how you are performing. Where are you making your mistakes? What are you not doing well enough? What are you, underachieving at? Where could you have made more money? These are all questions that I want to be able to answer when I'm doing my, my own recap for myself and finding out how I can improve going into a new year. 2024 for me was really a year about sizing down, getting rid of a lot of the bad habits that I had that really plagued the end of my 2022, even though I had a really phenomenal year, into 2023, where I was basically break even, trading massive size, taking giant losses, huge wins, and just riding this roller coaster of emotions constantly. 2024 was all about, resetting myself, getting back to baseline, focusing on risk management, focusing on just the patterns that got me to where I am today. And I accomplished all those goals for myself. That makes me feel really good because I feel like I'm in a better place to now start to accelerate again, start to slowly size up, start to really try to maximize and come out with some of those bigger years that I have in years past. And for me in particular, I really just thought, like, if I'm going to do this for a long period of time, I need to get my head back on straight. I need to get rid of all these big losses. I need to get rid of all this over trading and all this trading of random patterns and trying to be everybody else, and just do what I know how to do and start to do it in a more efficient manner. And one of those things that I really believe is going to make a big difference in my 2025 and really separate myself from my results in 2024 is maximizing my winners, maximizing when I'm right. In the video that I did with Kyle in my recap, we talk a lot about your best trades and your worst trades and what those can tell you about your performance, about your consistency, and about, how much that affects your overall yearly numbers. And you really want your winners to be, your best of the best trades, your 5% of your trades, of your green trades, to really just outperform everything else. I want when I'm right to be really right. And when I'm wrong, I always just want to be wrong. I want to lose my 1R. So how many losses do I have above that? We'll talk about that in the risk management section of this video. But really, how right can I be and how can I execute when the lights are on, when the play is there, when it's an A+ setup? Am I making what I believe I should on those setups? And I don't believe I did a very good job of that in 2024. There was one really good trade I had on Fannie Mae where I risked like $300 and ended up making 20 something thousand during this period right here, after the stock had gotten back on radar, consolidated really tightly for a while here on the daily chart, and then went on a move from the ones all the way up towards $2. I was patient, I was sized in properly, and I really maximized that winner. When I didn't do that, I'm a good enough trader where even at lower stakes, and if I'm not perfect, I can still make money and I can still be a profitable trader and I can still have a decent year. But what separates those who are just profitable from those who are really excelling is the little things. And the little thing for me as a trader who has a lower win percentage, and my win percentage from 2024 was 41%, is my risk reward has to be off the charts. I have to be making multiples of risk reward when I'm right than when I lose. And my average winner was about 2.2 to 1 over all my trades in 2024, which is fine. And I'm happy with that. And that's a profitable number. But I know at the best of my best, I can be making 20, 30, 40 to 1 on really, really good trades that maybe there's only a handful a year, but I feel like in 2024, we had those opportunities, especially on the long side, which is where I pride myself on making the majority of my money. There was opportunities, there were sectors that I don't believe I did a very good job on maximizing. Maybe I still caught a piece of each move or a piece of the daily chart, but I wasn't maximizing. And that is like the big focus that I had going into 2025 is how to maximize my winners. And it's not necessarily just talking about the big stuff. We talk about quantum stocks over the past few months where, I wasn't involved in these breakouts. RGTI was not involved in this breakout. I don't believe I was involved in this breakout over the 12s and 13s. On QUBT, where was I on this day right here that led to the biggest move on the quantums from, the 7-8 area all the way into the 20s? On QBTS, I missed 2 breakouts on this one, even though other names were working, because I got too particular, because they spiked too quickly into the breakout level, because I didn't believe it was time. Whatever the reason is, I think it is good for you to find reasons on why you shouldn't trade and try to play devil's advocate. But when the market is hot, which it has been over the past few months, when you have a hot sector and the momentum is there, you have groupings of stocks like the ones I last brought up, QMCO is also in that group, and you have the leaders running, pulling the rest. That is when I need to get aggressive. That is when I need to make sure that I'm in the trade. And we've heard Huddy talk about it, Kyle talk about it in the room and in the webinars over the past 2 months. Now just shut your eyes and click the button. When the breakout is there, when the first red day is there, when the first green day is there, how are you going to be prepared enough so that way you just get involved? And I feel like there are specific days during the year and each month, during certain cycles with the sector momentum, during periods of hotness in the overall market, where even if it's not perfect, you got to find a way to get involved. And even though in my mind, in the moment on, something RGTI for this breakout or this breakout, or in QBTS, the breakout over 540, in my mind, when we have to run so far to get to it, I find all these reasons why I shouldn't be playing it. And the big thing is I usually convince myself that I won't be able to maximize, that I'm not going to have a perfect average. I'm not going to be in early. I have to buy the breakout level blindly like everyone else, that there's not going to be the ability to make 5, 10, 15 to 1 on this type of trade. And what's happened a lot of the times this year is every time I've convinced myself of that, the play does offer that, where all of these quantum stocks, every time they broke out, went on big day twos. They gapped up big in after hours and in pre-market and ran higher the next day. I could have maximized those trades by just getting involved. Like that was step one. If I'm not involved from the breakout on these plays, I'm not going to have the ability to maximize if and when that opportunity does arrive, because then I'm already not in step one. So when step two comes, where I should be adding and moving risk up or buying for the swing, I'm not even there in the first place to do so, which means it's riskier. The risk reward is worse, and the conviction is worse because we're higher. We're up. Once QBTS breaks out of 540 here and closes at 720, I'm even less likely to get involved up there than I was at 540 because I already thought I was chasing. And so a big lesson for me from 2024 is there is always the potential when all the circumstances align and all the bits of criteria are there. You have the volume, you have the sector, you have the volatility, you have a big runner that's pulling you with them. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just get involved, and then it's time to maximize. You don't need to have the whole idea of maximizing in your mind like I can with a Fannie Mae. Right off the bat, I can say, this is where I want to buy, this is where I want to add, this is where I move risk, this is how long I'm going to hold. Sometimes on these stocks that kind of come out of nowhere, where maybe I'm not watching QBTS, but RGTI is ripping, and I get this green day here, and it pops right back out where it looks like it's going to fade, and now it's back. I can quickly just say, this is a multi-day breakout. It's in this sector. We have sector momentum. The overall market is hot. I have to get involved, and then I can focus on maximizing. That's when my bread and butter comes about, which is who I was as a trader. And 2020, 2021, even back in 2017, 18 with OTCs, like how was I able to make 500K to $1 million plus in a year? It was because when the time was right, when the sector momentum was there, when the grouping of breakouts happened together, when we got a period of a month where stocks were going through the life cycle of a penny stock and breaking out, then having great first red days, then having great first green days, is I was maximizing those individual opportunities. I might not have been the most consistent trader in the world when it comes to being green every month or be green every day or green every week and being able to make the most out of whatever's running right now. But when something did come into my wheelhouse, like a lot of these trades did in 2024, I was able to maximize. And I didn't do that in 24. I was able to take a trade, risk 1,000 and make 25K, 30K, 40K that's who I used to be. That's what I'm trying to work towards. And after having the year that I did in 2024, where I was able to get back on track, find consistency again in my approach and in my habits, not take a ton of big losses, and not have a ton of drawdowns. I really didn't have any long stretches of drawdown in 2024. Now I believe the next area is to get aggressive and start maximizing my trades, building into them when the time is right. And it's not necessarily just on the big picture daily charts. Sometimes it's just on an individual level as well when it comes to trading, first green days, which for me is a pattern in which the stock goes on multiple green days, becomes overextended, is a big runner, a big mover. A lot of 2024, and this kind of leads into the second area that I wanted to work on this year, which is, letting go of that fear of losing or letting go of unrealized losses. You just kind of have to be prepared, and you have to want to be a trader and trust the process. And when it comes to maximizing my winners from 2024 into 2025, a lot of it has to do with, why wasn't I doing that? Why wasn't I maximizing? And it has to come down to some sort of fear of either losing once you're up and letting go of those unrealized gains. I know so many beginners who struggle to focus on process over profits. And if you're constantly worried about what you're up on a trade or what you can make, versus just risk reward and what is the risk on the table, if the trade works, how much am I going to make? You can find yourself in some sticky positions where you're not as profitable as you possibly can be because you're no longer focused on the trade, you're focused about the money. If I'm in a situation where I buy a breakout and it's working really well and it's consolidating in the afternoon, and I have two options, right? I can add more, build into my position and move risk up and swing till the next day, or I can take the profits because I'm already up 3-1. It's guaranteed, right? If I sell right now, I get to lock in that money. Maybe I'd been red for the week. Maybe, someone like me who's a little gun shy going into 2024 after having a really rough 2023, and you just don't want to do that anymore, and you don't want to give up any unrealized gains, whatever it is that's playing into it. If the process tells me I should add, move risk, and swing the next day because that's what the daily chart says, that's what the pattern says, I need to just commit to doing it. I can't have that fear continually come about that says I'm going to give up the $1,500 I'm up or whatever it is, my 3R, my 2R, whatever it is, because I'm worried it might gap down. It might not go any higher. I'm already up this right now and it's guaranteed. Some stuff that I don't want to enter into my trading because it's not the process. If a robot was trading, what would the robot do if I gave it my system? And my system in that circumstance is to build into the position, increase my winning potential, and maximize the trade at hand. And a lot of the times in 2024, I just didn't do that. And on an individual trading basis, I wasn't doing it. Whereas, my first green day pattern, which is something that I trade for the first 30 minutes to the hour of the day when the trade is there, it's a very quick trade. It's one of the only ones I want to be in and out of versus my, more big picture daily chart breakouts. I want to be patient. I want to be there for the more than just the meat of the move. How can I build in quicker? How can I, once I move risk up after I've been in the trade 15 to 20 minutes and we've consolidated near the highs for a couple minutes or so, or 5 to 10, 15 minutes, and I can realistically move risk up, add more size, and then if I get that swipe, if I get that halt up, whatever it is I'm looking for, I make more money. That's what I was doing in 2020 and 2021, and I got away from that. Whenever you feel like you have a guaranteed winner, I feel like that's the fallacy in the markets. What it really is, again, how much do you make when you're right and how much do you lose when you're wrong? In 2024, I did a lot right, and I rectified a lot of the mistakes I had been making over the past few years in terms of what do I lose when I'm wrong. But what I wasn't doing was maximizing my potential when I was right. And that is something I really, really want to focus on in 2025, which is why I believe even at the same stakes, which I am going to be sizing up this year where I didn't, a lot of that came down to personal reasons. Towards the end of last year in the fall, I had some medical stuff take place and that really set me back in terms of sizing up. And then I went right back to sizing down and just trying to be stress-free for a while. But here we are in 2025. And I really want to maximize. I know I can have a significantly better year. This for me, and this isn't where you should start if you're a brand new trader in terms of what should you be your main priority, which I believe is to become profitable and become consistent. But if you're the type of trader like me, where win rate is always going to be a little lower and your risk reward is all that really matters, maximize your winners and having them be as big as possible is where I'm going to make the majority of my money. And that's why I need to let go of that fear of losing, let go of worrying about unrealized gains and focus on the process and not necessarily the profits. And then the profits will come because of that maximization of my winners. The other thing that I really want to focus on this year, which is really just because I think I need to be focused on it all years, And the second I stop focusing on it is when it leaks into my trading. And that's when a 2023 happens, where I'm risking 3 to 5K a trade. I'm taking 40K losses, 50K losses, 70K losses. It's overwhelming, and I'm struggling to sleep at night, and I'm constantly fighting stocks, and I'm stressed all day, and I'm just putting on more and more size to get back to even or get back to a profit. And I'm constantly in these drawdowns. I'm constantly taking these big losses, having to then make big wins to combat them. And I lose sight of the whole thing. The whole thing crumbles and cracks. The foundation is broken. Risk management is the key to the game. Wherever you're looking on YouTube and you're talking about trading, you're probably going to get to someone talking about risk management and why it is so important, because, usually one trade is not going to make you rich, but one trade can knock you out of the game. And in 2024, after having that period of roller coaster rides of emotions in 2023, and a lot of 2022, I just got away with it. I was pretty even keel in 2024. I was very good at losing 1 hour. When you look at my review and my recap video for all you 4-leaf clovers out there, over the 1 hour limit, there wasn't a ton of extra losses, especially when you start to get to the 3, 4, 5R. My biggest loss last year was $8,000 to $10,000 on one trade, which was FFIE in May of last year. And there was a story behind it. I got lazy. I stopped taking it seriously for a while. I was out on a golf trip. I had some alcoholic beverages. It was the one time all year that I was really inconsistent in my approach. When I got lazy, when I oversized, I didn't stick to risk. All the rules got broken at once, which is generally what happens. And sometimes you will get away with that for a period of time before you are humbled. But that was the one time this year where I was risking $400 or $500 and lost 8 to 10,000. I really let it get away from me. And it's just a reminder to myself at the stakes I was playing at last year, like even one is too many. And I know other bigger, better traders than me lost a lot more money on that play, and it derailed portions of their year and they had to work back out of it. But no one wants that. And I believe I can go a year without a giant loss relative to whatever size I'm trading. And that's why it's always important to either have rules for yourself or just constantly remind yourself of what your pillars are of importance that are going to keep you as consistent as possible. Because, a big goal for myself, again, 2025, didn't achieve this in 2024, was I want to be green every single month. If you eliminate that loss from May, I believe I still had more than one red month, so it would have been still not achieved no matter what. But those big losses take away your ability to be as consistent as you want to be. It's usually following periods of massive success where that rule starts to slide, where your risk management starts to get a little poor and you fight stocks, you don't stick to risk, you oversize, whatever it is, you find yourself with a big fat loser, you blow up an account, whatever it is. And it's just not necessary. And it's something as you go into a new year, for me, everything past May, once I had that first red month, once I had that giant loss, was going to inevitably not be able to meet the certain goals I wanted for myself because of that one big loss. And I have to live with that, and I have to think about that every month till the end of the year. And it's only usually till that blank slate starts and you move from 1 month to the next or 1 year to the next where that stat is no longer holding you back. And I'm able to make some new goals for myself now, really commit to trying to make sure that doesn't happen again. So those are the areas that I really want to improve upon to have a better 2025 than I did 2024. I have no doubt that I will do it. I think 2024 was a great learning year for me. If you are a 4-leaf clover or you've been in the room for the past year, I think you've been able to see me grow as a trader, even though this is my 9th or 10th year now. It's a constant journey of growth, and there are going to be periods where you are on fire and it's easy to trade. There are going to be periods where you get humbled and you have to learn, you have to go through things the hard way. And unfortunately, I think I do that more than the other trader friends that I have that are a lot more successful than me. But the change of the year is a great time to focus in on your stats, be transparent with yourself, and make new rules and find new areas that you can improve upon to have better and better years going forward. And just realizing, there is no real end goal with trading. It's not like I need to have a great 2025 and then retire. It's if I'm going to be doing this for a while, how can I enjoy what I'm doing? How can I be super efficient in the way that I do it? Get good sleep at night, be healthy, hit the goals that I want to achieve as a trader, and do it year in and year out. And that's what last year has meant going into this year. And I want to just continue to improve upon that. I hope that you guys are taking something away from that as well. I hope you've done your recaps, done your reviews, gone through the data. And if not, I really encourage you to do so, because I do believe it is just an absolutely essential part of trade. You look at the best traders in the industry and they know themselves inside and out. And to become the best trader you possibly can, you must do those things, and you must have that data for yourself that you can take and improve upon going into future months and years. So if you learned something, leave a comment if you did. Leave a comment if you want to see some specific video or topic from us going on into the rest of 2025. Like I said, we're live every day. The market is open at 8:45 a.m. for Good Morning Nasdaq. So if this is your first time around checking us out, we have a great time over there. We post long form content every single Monday. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and we will see you in the next one.